everybody, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some Amazing Cultivation Simulator. So we're going to move over and continue our journey in the tutorials, because there's so many and the game is complicated. But when I start, I want to have some kind of idea of what to do. So we're going to learn now about inspiration, which I have no idea about, and I actually haven't seen any of this at all yet in the tutorials, so this will be interesting. Alright, so click and select an inner disciple. So here's an inner disciple who's happily cultivating the spirit, and they have a little plus sign by their cultivation hotkey, or their little menu. And the plus sign persists down here, and it says inspiration. It says click to open the inspiration menu. And oh boy, the player can place the cursor to check inspiration info. Inspiration gain is affected by a character's mental state and their intelligence. So this looks like some incredibly involved tech tree for what they can do. So let's just check this out. We're going to close it, I guess, and then we're going to click on their general stats menu on the left. The player can hover the cursor here to see attainment, and it says reflects a cultivator's overall ability. Characters with high attainment have a more difficult time learning new abilities, and they suffer from increasing inspiration costs. Attainment is unavailable for the law of Shandao. Well, this person has a 0 attainment, so that's good. Maybe it means like the more you attain, the harder it is for you to get more abilities. I don't know. Inner disciples will keep gaining inspiration during cultivation, which can be used to learn various manuals to improve their ability. Inspiration needed to learn a new skill increases as attainment becomes higher. Okay. And we're going to click to open the general stats menu. And we're going to click inspiration again. And now we're actually going to look at the tree. Inspect the requirements to learn skill lunar form. Oh, okay, there's a lot on this. Lunar form. Attainment +4. So this will, I guess, add to their 0 attainment and make subsequent inspirations more difficult, maybe. Refine one's physical form using the yin qi energy that emanates from the light of the moon. Results in gender reversal if the cultivator practicing it is male. Okay. So you can just freely switch genders if you'd like with your inspiration, and that's great. We can be fluid with inspiration and gender as we practice the amazing cultivation. Oh, and there's different tiers of this. So with Lunar Form 1, it greatly increases your max chi and your max artifact power, but then it's like it fundamentally increases it at level 2, and then at level 3, it transforms the energies within your body to become that of pure ice-cold yin. Wow. Alright, so cool. Okay. Click Lunar Form. I did. Do I want to spend 1200 inspiration to learn it? I have 3200. Sure, let's do it. Inspect the requirements to learn the manual Exuberant Elixir Recipe. Okay. Required state core shaping. Inspiration 1944. We have that. Our attunement will go from +2 to 6. And let's see, what does it do for us? It slightly increases elixir concoction success rate. This individual has limited orthodox knowledge of so far, thus studying unorthodox arts from other schools will no longer bring inspiration. Okay. And we'll just close this. And we'll close this. Inner disciples can not only use inspiration to learn or advance their manual studying, but also to increase their level of skills and learn unique single manuals like travel diaries and elixir recipes. Disciples can learn manuals from their master or study them in the manual pavilion, and they can also learn new manuals during adventure. However, a disciple cannot learn a new manual when their inspiration is insufficient. Okay? When a disciple is in training mode, they will gain a lot of inspiration during training, which is the main source of inspiration. So we'll go to train. And we'll just, click time passing, and they're training. And we're hoping that they get some inspiration as they work. This guy's just punching around everywhere. And when there's a plus above the inspiration button, it means the disciple can learn a new manual. When an inner disciple earns enough inspiration for a new manual, it will automatically show plus here to notify the player to check this info, okay? And we will click here to open the general stats menu. We will click inspiration, and we can see that they've raised their inspiration points, okay? And we will close this, and this. The player can place the cursor on the enlightenment pill to see its effect. It's a Eureka pill, and it says, consuming it allows one to feel the movement of Tao and obtain inspiration from it. The quantity of inspiration obtained is relative to one's intelligence and mental state at the time of consumption. Interesting. Okay. We're going to eat the pill, and we're going to click inspiration again. Holy moly. Now they have like 422,000 up. I mean, that is ridiculous. This disciple has gained a lot of inspiration by consuming an elixir, I'll say. When a disciple is in urgent need of a lot of inspiration to learn a key skill, the player can use other ways to gain it fast, such as elixirs, adventures, events, branch training, etc. The disciple's mental state, intelligence, and learning speed can also affect the increased rate of their inspiration. Okay. And so we finished that, and now in the next tutorial we're going to learn different kinds of injuries for inner disciples and how to heal them. Oh no. Okay, so we have somebody who's hurt. So it says, click the notification injury on the left. Alright, so this person, Fu, has been injured, and we select them. And then we can select their health and see that alien Chi, oh no, her left forearm bones have been completely corrupted. I don't know what that means, but some evil alien Chi? Okay. The player can check the fire tag above the damage to quickly know the type of injury. Alright, so she has scorching pain of 78% in her right ear. Alright. That's not good. There are mainly 6 types of inner injuries, that is, spirit, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Actions like failed breakthrough, fighting enemies, and eating food with too much chi could all cause these types of inner injuries. If not treated in time, it is very likely for the disciple to die. Oh, goodness. Alright, so we'll select this other inner disciple, and we're going to click on Alchemy in the character status menu. The player can place the cursor on restoration powder to see its effect. So, medicinal powder made from ginseng and ganoderma, it can stimulate one's meridian channels and cure injuries with the spirit tag. Alright. The Chi Flow, pill that can neutralize the disordered Chi within one's body. It's capable of effectively curing injuries with the spirit tag. Alright. And we're just going to select the Chi Flow pill, and we're going to feed it to this injured person. I wonder how you would know that they were injured from this particular screen. Because it doesn't say here, but whatever. I guess we just have to know. And so we fed it to them, and let's look at them. And the player can recheck the injury with the spirit tag to see if it's healed. It says it will fully recover in 4 seconds. Alright, so that's very good. For each type of inner injury, there are different corresponding elixirs. As inner disciples learn more elixir recipes, there will be more elixirs to treat inner injuries. Each elixir has a different effect and use, so ensure at least one disciple learns these recipes so that they can concoct the elixirs if needed. Fantastic. Click and select another inner disciple. Alright. And use miracles to heal inner injuries. There's this panacea down here. Set your power in motion to cure a target's inner injuries. The healing effect is related to the amount of the healer's chi. So this person is just able to, like, heal with their powers. So let's click on them, and they're going to use, like, their special powers. And, the inner injuries with both the fire tag and the rest have been healed through panacea, so they no longer show here, except apparently that their right middle finger has been lost. So they lost their right middle finger. Inner disciples can also use panacea, a miracle with special effects, to treat injured disciples in the sect. A disciple with higher chi can treat the others better. This miracle is very important for treating inner injuries, and it's better to teach more disciples in case of an emergency. I see. So we want to get people with panacea. Makes sense. So now we're going to move on to a different type of tutorial, and we're going to learn the functions in the sect menu and how its reputation and place in the alignment of ethics affect the sect. Okay, so we're moving on from inner disciples to the sect itself. So let's see what this is all about. So, basic info. Sect unlocked. Once the player has an inner disciple, they can check and manage the sect. So you can't do this until you get an inner disciple. Okay, so let's click on it. And this is the screen that will pop up. The player can obtain reputation through actions like adventures, events, and miracles, but the higher the reputation, the stronger the invading enemies will be. Oh. Alright, so it's like as you gain prosperity, then more and more people want to come try to destroy your dreams with their evil intentions. Alright. Sect reputation 2200. Okay. Our fortress is 0 and our sect is 500. Paradise is 2k. I don't know what that means. The sect can be expanded every time its reputation reaches a new stage. A larger sect can recruit more disciples. Alright? So, size, heavenly abode. Sect size affects the sect's population limit. Fortress 12, sect 24, paradise 36. So, the total number of disciples in the sect, your population limit is affected by sect size. So I don't know what this means. Like, 36 is our total max, and if we have 36, then we're in paradise. Okay. The player's actions in the game affect whether the sect leans towards good or evil, which further influences the relation between your sect and the other sects and affects your choices during events and how they develop. Okay? Good or evil, good 100, evil 100. Whether you lean toward being good or evil affects your choices and how you develop. Alright? Cultivated. The Feng shui of the sect is decided by that of all rooms and Feng shui buildings, which will affect all the disciples' luck. Okay? Once the player selects a meal, a sect meal, disciples will automatically issue a cooking order 2 hours before mealtime. Considering the current storage of food, the player can select different meals to improve disciples' diet. When stored food is sufficient, the player can also cancel the selection. Okay? And then we can also make laws. Click to fold Supreme Law in the left. Alright, Supreme Law. So we close that window. Here shows all the laws acquired by the player's sect in different categories. Disciples who cultivate worldly laws can only reach the core shaping phase, while golden core laws can only reach the golden core phase, and the other law types vary differently. Okay. Here shows detailed information on law types, law matching, states in law, etc. Okay. Inspiration tree. Here shows the detailed inspiration tree for the player to inspect. The tree gives information about what manuals can be learned for this law. Alright. So you get an idea of, like, if you would decide to go with a law, what technologies or inspirations you can get. Alright, close it. Close it. In the page for basic info on the sect, the player can learn various info about the current sect in order to easily manage it. Alright. Click Sect Structure. Okay. The player can use this to set a suitable sect leader for the current sect. The sect leader's ability will affect the mood of the disciples, and changing or retiring the sect leader has the same effect. So we're going with Bali May. Once the player's sect becomes Heavenly Abode, branches can be established. The more able the branch leader, the more bonuses the disciples in the branch will gain. Once a branch is established, branch areas can be planned through building, which provide bonus effects for disciples. Changing or retiring the sect leader will also affect disciples. Alright, so we're going to establish a branch or click on disciples. The player can see all the inner disciples and their masters. Oh, interesting. So here's our inner disciple, who is the master of all of these people, I guess. You can click X to expel a disciple, and then click Diplomacy. The player can check this page to learn information on the relation, friendship, interactive tendency between your sect and the other sects in order to better plan the development of the sect. Alright, so these are all like the neighbors or the surrounding powers, and you want to obviously try to have a good relationship so you don't get attacked. Okay, we can click Details. Sunshade Abode's favor is common. Direct descendant of the way of supreme clarity in the mortal realm. Located at the top of Mount Sunshade, it is a pillar in the world of just. The Sunshade Abode excels at artifact crafting. All 10 of the divine swords they keep in their sect as a deterrence are finest weapons of unparalleled quality, being tier 10 or above. Sure. The player can click Details to see the relation between one sect and the others, known in the sect's power, and monitor its change in order to plan different strategies. So we can see how they're relating to the others. Okay. Okay. These sect functions play an important role during the game, and the player can use them to develop their own sect and plan different strategies. Fantastic. In the next tutorial, we're going to learn the difference between Feng Shui buildings and non-Feng Shui buildings, and how to adjust Feng Shui according to their element. Okay. So let's learn about Feng Shui buildings and non. Click Build in the bottom left corner to open the build page. Click Life to open the buildings page. Click Bed. A single bed that can provide a good night's sleep. Feng Shui building. Available main material, bar, timber, or stone block. Okay. In the game, a building with no Feng Shui building tag is decoration. Most of these buildings will inherit the elemental attribute of their main material and affect the elemental environment around them. The buildings themselves are not affected by the 5 elements, nor have Feng Shui. So this dressing table is a decorative structure. It can affect the 5 elements of its surrounding based on what you make it out of. Okay. In the game, some buildings have their own elemental tag. When a building has an elemental or undefined tag, it will not be affected by the element of the main material. So what influences the elemental environment is the element in the tag. Okay. Alright. Remember, some buildings have an elemental attribute for the ground they are on, which is completely different from the element of the buildings. For example, a stove's ground is of fire element, and a well's ground is of water element, so the player needs to explore this feature to learn more about Feng Shui. I see. So click Feng Shui at the top left to enter Feng Shui mode. The brownstone table is Feng Shui building of the earth element, so it is affected by the interactions of the 5 elements in the environment. In the Feng Shui mode, if a building is yellow or red, it means Feng Shui is bad. The current building is red. That is bad. Which is clearly affected by a counteractive element. Right. The brownstone table is Feng Shui building of the earth element, so it is affected by the interactions of the 5 elements in the environment. In the Feng Shui mode, if a building is yellow or red, it's bad, so it's earth and it's getting affected by metal. Parasol lumber is an item of wood element that affects the element around it. Okay. Parasol lantern is decoration of wood, which affects the element around it. I see that. Alright, we're going to click Feng Shui. Select the stone spirit display on the top of the brownstone, to the left of the brownstone table. Place item. Click the Igneo copper bar. Select the parasol lantern. Click demolish. Select the parasol lantern and click move and put it over here. And then we're going to speed it up and just, we've queued all those actions, so they will go in and do this. And here they go, moving things, demolishing things. Now we're going to check how the table is doing given this switch in elements. Placing the Igneo copper bar has improved the fire element in this environment. Yes, it has. Now the table is actually green. I see that. Having the Igneo copper lantern has improved the fire element. Yes, it has. Due to the change in elemental environment, the brownstone table is affected by the fire element in the environment that begets with the table's earth element. So the fire element is benefited by the earth element, so Feng Shui has become better. Right. Sure. Okay. The player can change the 5 elements surrounding a Feng Shui building to change the Feng Shui, and the Feng Shui of the building in turn affects that of the room. Select the room by clicking the empty area in it. The player can check the display of Feng Shui here and see what's going on. So it's slightly ominous. It's a bedroom, it's Feng Shui leakage, but so it's losing all these points. It's too cramped, it's a bad bedroom, I don't know, but it's got some bonuses, okay? All Feng Shui buildings, Feng Shui affects that of the room, which is decided by the overall Feng Shui of all the buildings in it, okay? So just as a heads up, like a table and a bed are considered buildings within this conversation. A cramped or empty layout of the room will impair the Feng Shui. Depending on the function of the room, its Feng Shui will be affected by factors like the direction of the door and having multiple doors. A bedroom should be facing south, so the door should be built at the bottom. Use help to check the Feng Shui and the direction for the other room types. Player can click help, F10, in the right side to check the room's Feng Shui and the 5 elements to learn more rules. Okay? Sweet. So now we know all about Feng Shui. And now I've got to check all the bedrooms in my own home and make sure the door is facing south. Otherwise, we might need to switch up the rooms and the configuration to improve our Feng Shui. Alright, everybody. Well, I am just having my mind blown by this game, and I hope you are learning along with these tutorials. Remember, my goal here is just to work through the tutorials and then start up an actual game once I've completed them. So I'm keeping track of the Let's Play with tutorial episodes first, and then we will start actually labeling them episodes when I get to a main game. So if you want to skip the tutorials, go ahead and just go right to the episode. Or if you want to watch them before you play, do the tutorials first to not spoil anything from the main game if you want to play along. Alright, everybody. I hope you have an excellent evening or day. I hope your cultivation is going amazing. And I will check you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.